Hello.
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 You're listening to Dying Scene Radio. And we're the Shell Corporation.
Broken skull on Sunday morning, Monday morning feels the same. Injuries I plan to keep around. Lying hand in hand with you are being held down, but the hands will never hold the silent killer hands. Time don't make a sound, but the point blank screams are loud and clear, informing me that the future is now here. Whoa. My little companion burning my guts to ashes. So why can't I learn from my mistakes? I'll just keep telling the same story like the romance is missing a held so dear. Make all hopes of reformation disappear. Bloodshot eyes on Tuesday morning and they'll always be the same. Dead giveaway of what's keeping me down. Lying back to back with you are being held down by dirty frozen hands. A silent killer hands. Time don't make a sound, but the point blank screams are loud and clear, informing me that the future is now here. Whoa. My little companion burning my guts to ashes. So why can't I learn from my mistakes? I'll just keep telling the same story like the romance is missing a held so dear. Make the hopes of reformation disappear. I'll just keep telling the same story like the romance is missing my health so dear. Make all hopes of reformation disappear. Make all hopes of reformation disappear.
Greetings, comrades, and welcome to episode 10 of Dying Scene Radio. With me, as always, is mi amigo Bob. Say howdy, Bob.
Hello.
We are here to bring you some of the noteworthy scene news that you were probably too lazy to read.
I don't like my hello. That was like a question. Hello?
Oh.
Is anybody there?
I think there's some people listening.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Okay.
Right. Anyway, back to business. Thanks for interrupting, Bob. We're going to bring you some noteworthy news that you were probably too lazy to read. And we're going to play some awesome fucking music from emerging punk acts that you were probably too lazy to discover. Bob, can you believe we made it to 10 episodes? That's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, we hit our 1 year mark.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
We had our 1 year anniversary, August something.
Oh, look at you. You didn't even send me flowers, you fuck. I sent you a care package. You didn't send me shit.
That's true. I didn't know what that care package was for. I didn't know it was our anniversary gift exchange.
It was. I want you to wear those tidy whities for me. Model them. But I guess we actually have more than 10 episodes. It's probably more like 14. I think we had a couple special episodes from fests and some things like that. So it was probably 14 episodes over the year. That's not bad.
Not bad.
That's especially for not getting paid. You think it's time to ask Dave for a salary?
A raise, yes.
A raise. He could slide us at least a cent or two.
Yeah.
Every couple weeks.
Some stickers would be appreciated. I don't know. A t-shirt?
He says he has t-shirts somewhere in a storage facility in LA, so maybe you can get him to send you the key.
Send me the key.
And you could go down and get 2 t-shirts and then lock it back up and be on your merry way. Let's see.
They're not doing any good just sitting there. Let's give them out.
That's right.
We
Dave,
should do a giveaway.
Something.
You know, the first person to download the podcast and share with, I don't know. Continue. You're
Look at you. You're so You're so corporate. Look at your ideas, trying to drive traffic. All right, back to business. Our intro song for this episode was brought to you by Came and Took It from Austin, Texas. They're actually, I guess, a little bit south of us here in Fort Collins, maybe north of us. I don't know my geography yet. Yeah. But they just moved out here maybe about a year ago, but originally from Austin, Texas. The song was Broken Skulls from the 2016 LP, Bait for Buzzards. They also have a new album coming out this October, Resume, and they're going to be playing with Flatliners here in Denver, and they're going to try and get me in the show.
Nice.
Yeah. So really good emerging act from right here in the neighboring cities. You got to love Denver.
Yep.
The scene here is pretty dense.
Hey, I'll be out there for Christmas. Let's do
I was
something fun.
I was gonna say, well, you haven't. I know you've been busy lately, but I normally ask what you're gonna do or what you've been doing. But let's ask about what you're gonna do. You're gonna be out here in December. I'm gonna hang out with you.
Yeah,
show you around the new hood.
We got to find some good shows to go to while I'm out there and do some snowboarding. Yeah, all that good stuff.
Dude, there's so many good shows coming up in the month of September. Me and Mrs. Anarcho-Punk were actually going through our calendar, and the shows coming up just this month, man. You got Allout Helter, who we're going to hear from later. Krang from the Czech Republic, they're playing this weekend. Big D and the Kids Table is playing on Sunday. The Dodges and Black Dots are playing on the 10th. Belmont Such Gold is playing the 11th. There's like shows every night, and I was trying to sort out the schedule, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to see you much.
Nice.
We got the Poor Me release show. System Restore is playing. Propaganda, which I already got my tickets to, is playing on September 20th. On the 21st, Spanish Love Songs.
Would you meet me in the middle? Would you meet me north of Buffalo? Escaping till the winter. Build a house where no one wants.
Spanish Love Songs is opening for a secret headliner. They still haven't announced.
Okay.
You think we should call them and try and get some the inside scoop?
They probably don't know who it is yet.
I know, right? They're just going to show up and play. Then, still, Scallywag Festival is on the 22nd. There's like 3 or 4 weekends where there's just a show every night.
They do Scallywag out there?
Yeah, it's the first one.
Okay. Scallywag's out here too, though, right? And they do it.
Yeah. I think there was maybe like 8 stops or something like that. But the first one is in Denver, and by my estimation, it looked like the best lineup in my opinion.
Okay,
so,
nice.
But yeah, the month of September is really busy out here, and I got a brand new camera, so the pictures that I'm going to post are going to be higher quality.
Awesome.
So be on the lookout for that. Follow us on Instagram if you don't already, because that's where I post most of the good pictures, the Dying Scene page. The secondary overflow pictures go to the anarchopunk.la page. So I post the trash on my page.
If you can't get enough.
You just can't get enough. No, but we got a couple of photographers too. It's not just me. We've got probably about 7 or 8 people that take pictures out there. They'll in various forms or fashion. So definitely follow, not just for my pictures, but for everybody else's pictures.
I should see if I can't get the Mrs. Bob to take some pictures. She's got a good photography setup. She used to do it.
Wait
for
a minute.
Company.
You're not the missus in that relationship?
I am not.
Could have sworn. Yeah, I bet you she could probably dust off an old camera or something and send you out.
She's got some good stuff, and we're going to the Surf City Blitz in October. Bad Religion's playing, Fear, Mad Caddies, Pennywise, Rancid, Social Distortion, Suicidal Tendencies, TSOL, everybody. So yeah, let's. I'm gonna see about that. If you guys want pictures, I don't know. Let's talk to Dave.
Yeah, if nothing else, you can take some pictures for yourself and warm up. Work your way up to the pro league.
I'm not taking pictures. She will. She is. She does all that.
That might be a good one to start at. There's probably a photo pit there. It'll be a little bit easier than trying to shoot in the crowd.
That'd be exciting for her, too. Bad Religion's her favorite band, so.
Yeah. She's got great taste, except not in men. So let's see. Recently, I've been to quite a few shows. Let me see. The probably the most notable one was Frank Turner.
I got me a shovel, and I'm digging a ditch, and I'm gonna fight for this 4 square feet of land.
Frank Turner and Lucero and Face to Face played an acoustic set, and that was at Red Rocks, which I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's a great like natural kind of amphitheater. Really cool setting to shoot in. So that was a really incredible shoot. You usually, you get burned out sometimes going to dive bars, and even at festivals you get a little burned out. So going to a cool venue like that always reinvigorates you, so to say.
Was it sold out or what?
I mean, I don't know how you gauge a sellout of a show like that. It was packed as hell. Frank Turner played I think it was like an hour and a half set. He fucking crushed it. It was incredible.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That was a really cool show, and then I went over to our local DIY spot, 7th Circle Music Collective, and saw, Arms Aloft, Gender Confetti, Gorilla Poubelle came all the way from France.
Nice.
Put on a fucking sick performance, man.
Did you get to hang out with them or what?
No, I went over to the merch table for sure, and I mean, it's kind of a small venue, so you kind of hang out with everybody. But yeah, I mean, I talked to him for a minute while I was buying a shirt. But yeah, the venue itself is really cool DIY spot.
How come you didn't snag an interview with any of them?
I was busy. It was really crushed week for me. You got to prepare for those things. I can't just go in and ask silly questions.
I guess. All right. Well, I'm going to try and do, I know you sent me the, what was it? The Red Scare? No, it wasn't Red Scare. It was the Wiretap Fest that we got coming up out here. So I'm going to see if I can't go to that and snag a few interviews, especially with Rob. We've been talking about that, and I got some questions I want to ask him.
Man, you never cease to amaze me. You always kill the headline. That is actually a news item, so way to jump ahead. And now I know you didn't read through the outline. All right. On with the show. I can't deal with your shit anymore. Let's move on to some fucking music. We're gonna start off as always with Boss Man Dave's solid gold lock of the episode. This is Dog Company with Raise Your Glass.
Raise your glasses high. It's us tonight. We'll drink to those now gone and those at your side. And these moments fade so fast, so hold on to them tight. Let us live if it's our last night alive. The blood we chose is our own. Our bonds hold true when all else is gone. So let us drink and let us sing to better days and nights without
From the new album, High Hopes in Hard Times, that was Raise Your Glass from Dog Company. Bossman Dave actually sent that to me like in the wee hours because he works in a different time zone. He's in South Africa. And he said, hey, I don't know if they listen to this and tell me if it's good or not. I've been drinking wine all night. And I thought the song name was appropriate, Raise Your Glass. And he was...
That's hilarious.
Sipping on the wine all night long. Huh? I'm more of a PBR man myself, but
I'd really like to get
wine.
Dave on here for an interview. Anyways.
Yeah, we'll have to arrange that at some point.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Another track that was emailed in. We talked about that last week. The first of a few this week. This is the Studs with Level Up. From Chicagoland, that was the Studs with Level Up. They have a really trippy video that they released a few weeks ago for that track. They look like some pretty fucking fun dudes to hang out with. They party down. They're asinine in a good way. But yeah, it's got like wizards shooting lasers and time travel, and it's get high and go check out the video. That's sage advice from AP.
You know, one video that I think can never be topped will be the, what was it, the Wolf Face music video?
Oh, yeah, the Metallica one with all the dicks.
Yeah, it got taken down. So I had to message them one day and be like, hey, where's that video? And they sent me the link and they sent me the password. The password, by the way, is penis. Because you need a password to access the video. At any rate, if you guys want to see an awesome video, message Wolfface.
Yes, you definitely should. If you haven't seen that video, you definitely should.
Or message us, and I will send you the link and the password. Well, you already know the password.
Yeah, you know the password. Get the link from us or directly from Wolfface themselves. Yeah, you're right. That's probably one of the best videos I've seen in a long time.
Get high and watch that.
Yes. Get high and watch lots of videos. You can have a whole little playlist. All right. Wow. We really paused on that one. Let's play some more music. From the EP, I'll Sleep When I'm Dead Inside. This is Halfway to Dismay by local lads, Filthy Hearts. That was Colorado natives Filthy Hearts with Halfway to Dismay. They're actually opening for System Restore in a few weeks. One of the awesome shows that I mentioned earlier that I'm going to try and make it to. Those guys are pretty cool. I've ran into them a couple times here. The lead singer, Ryan, plays for a couple bands, so he's pretty busy in the scene out here.
Awesome.
I can't get enough of the scene. It's almost on par with LA. I might get some flack for saying that, but I was worried when I moved out here I wasn't going to have enough shows. My schedule's too booked.
I'm going to be honest, it kind of sounds better based off the way you describe it.
I don't know about that, but if that's the way your pretty little ears hear it, Bobbert.
It sounds like a nice, smaller, tight-knit community. LA's so spread out.
It is.
You know?
It is definitely a tight community.
You got to drive to fucking Long Beach or to Santa Ana or to fucking, Pasadena or to Reseda. Like, it's just miles and miles. Denver's a nice, tight city.
You're right. I shouldn't bitch. You're right, Bob. Get off my back. Moving on.
Moving on.
This is Living with Lions with Tidal Wave.
I'm tempted to see them. I can
Hailing from the west coast of Canada, that was Living with Lions with Tidal Wave from the upcoming LP Island. And Bob stepped up this episode and sent in quite a few songs. And that was one of them. That was the first of a few. So way to go, Bob. You made my job slightly easier this time.
I'm actually going to correct you. I did not send that one in.
Did you not?
I did not. I absolutely did not.
Oh, you could have taken credit, Bob.
Well,
I must have gotten this one from the email bin as well.
Yeah, no, I have no idea where that came from. But not me.
Oh. Well, you should have taken credit for it because it's a pretty fucking cool song. Definitely check out that album. I think it might be out by the time this airs. I think it'll be out right around the time this airs. So check that out, Living with Lions.
I will say it looks like you took out a song that I sent in. It was originally in the outline.
Oh, yeah. Well,
you took it out. What an asshole.
You bitch when it goes too long. So if I'm gonna bitch, I'm gonna hear you bitch either way. So.
All right, this is true.
All right. Let's move on with the news, man.
From DyingSeed.com, we'll read to you. We're still waiting for Fed Mike to approve.
All right. I guess super bands are kind of all the rage these days. Mercy Union.
Can all be bad in the morning?
Mercy Union was just announced to the world, a new band consisting of, members of Let Me Run, the Gaslight Anthem, Bottom Feeders, the Scandals, Hollow Eyed. Really good mix of talented musicians. We actually have their debut single streaming over at the Mothership, so head over and check that out. Chips and Vicks is the name of the debut track. But you gotta like it when all these talented guys from different bands and different kind of sounds kind of mix together and creates like a creative uprising.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's right.
No, I'm always a fan of that. Sometimes it's also really exciting when they don't tell you who's in the band and they kind of keep it secret, and you gotta figure out who's playing and all that.
Yeah,
good shit.
and I'm really bad with names, so I don't really mind if they don't give the names, because then I don't feel as bad. I'm awful with recognizing names and band members and everything. So
there's so many bands.
There are, and in my old age and all the marijuana resin stuck in my brain.
Yeah,
I can't remember everything.
I know it.
The forthcoming debut album, The Quarry, is due out. I guess it's Quarry, not Query. The Quarry is due out on October 19th, so keep an ear to the ground for that.
All right.
And then, like I said, head over to the Mothership. Stream it. Give us some clicks. Clicks! All right, next up, we got new music from Viva Death.
Comes along now, all too often. I find myself sliding backward. Let's face it.
Viva Death. This is a side project of Face to Face's Scott Shiflett. So a quick history lesson. Viva Death started as a baritone guitar driven project spearheaded by Scott Shiflett and Trevor Keith. The lineup on the band's first few albums, I guess it was 2002 with Viva Death and 2006 1% Panic. The lineup was filled out by Shiflett's younger brother Chris and Josh Freese on drums.
All right, so Chris is from, he's a guitar player for the Foo Fighters, right?
Yes.
And then we said Josh Freese, of course, the drummer for the Vandals and a million other bands. I saw him perform with Devo once years ago. I don't know if he's still in Devo, but dude, that fool, I don't know if I've told this story or not before, but he fucking smashed his finger into the floor tom and blood just sprayed everywhere. So he played one-handed the rest of the set and he still fucking killed it.
That's a dope story.
He is definitely one of the best drummers, if not the best drummer, dare I say, in punk rock. He's definitely been one of my idols.
Okay. Wow, that's a bold statement, but you have a story to back it up, so I can't even really argue that.
I mean, he also plays in 100 other bands. He plays with like fucking Rob Zombie and shit. I mean, I know that's not punk rock, but like the guy can jam.
Yeah. Yeah, well, add another to the list, Viva Death. The new album Illuminate is due for release on October 26th. Pre-orders are already up. We got a link over at dyingscene.com. And we're also streaming the album opener, ready to go. So
I'm gonna
head
check that
over
out as soon as we're
definitely
done.
check that out. Yeah, the cover of it's really cool too. It looks kind of like the Cheshire Cat or something like
Awesome.
that. It's a cat. Any kind of cat picture always intrigues me, draws me in. I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for a cat. Old man punk news. One of my favorite. This is like a recurring segment. It seems like every week we're talking about old punks. The Smoking Popes.
Butter on a summer day when she's around. I was on the tracks when the gate came down. Suddenly I
have announced a new album. Into Agony is the name. Let's see here. Chicago pop punk. Man, I'm having a hard time with the pop.
Aren't you?
Chicago pop punk veteran Smoking Popes announced the other day via Instagram the title and the release of the album. It is going to be released on October 12th, and again, the name of the album is Into the Agony. That's going to be out via Asia Man Records, so definitely keep an ear out for that.
Right.
Last LP was 2011, because I know Bob's going to ask. That album was This Is Only a Test. So yeah, 7-year break. Really looking forward to that. I've always been a Smoking Popes fan, and it always seems like they never put out quite enough music to satisfy my desires.
All right.
But you always satisfy my desires, Bob.
I always will.
All right, here's some news that's gonna make Bob extremely happy. Rancid and Murphy's Law.
Well, now the band's rocking and everybody's feeling alright. Alright. Said Wednesday evening, there's sure gonna be a fight. Be a fight. Somebody's gonna get
Murphy's Law released a Split, his favorite type of album.
All right.
So it's kind of a West Coast meets East Coast thing, and the new Split. Each band has one new track, and the Split is available for purchase on vinyl. So vinyl is another very popular thing these days. But we have the 2 songs, of course, listed. It's going to be We're Going to Figure It Out is the name of the track by Rancid, and Just One Beer by Murphy's Law. So
All right. I wonder which record label it's being released under. If Fat Records is doing it, or Epitaph / Hellcat.
yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't see it listed here. But yeah, Split albums. Why do you hate Split albums, Bob? Go on a rant.
I don't. I don't know. It just feels like, they're, especially with big bands like these, either release an EP, which I still don't like, but they're growing on me. I will say they're growing on me. It's 2018 and everyone's fucking just releasing singles all the time, or EPs. It's kind of annoying, but it's grown on me. But it seems like it's just kind of usually throwaway songs. I said it.
Well, those are 2 new songs by well-established bands. I don't think they would do a throwaway song.
You know what? If I were in a band, I am in a band. If I were in a good band that was making
You're in at
it,
least one good band. I'll let you guess which one.
if I were in a band that had made it and we had a really good song, I wouldn't be like, yo, let's throw this on a Split. I'd be like, this is gonna go on the album, so it's a good fucking album.
Okay.
That's my logic, dude.
Okay, point made. Back up, dude. Put the knife down. I agree. Okay, here's a little bit of weird news. I guess, I don't know, it's not weird. It's just not new music related or tour related. Chuck Reagan was in a documentary called Lansing, and it won a Best Story Award at some sort of small film festival, the Drake Film Festival it was called. So big congratulations to Chuck Reagan. He said of the film, for the film Lansing to be recognized and win Best Story at the Drake Film Festival was certainly an achievement that wasn't even in our scope. So pretty cool. The whole story's about him. When he's not on tour and playing music, he goes fishing. So he spends his life kind of on the water fishing.
Who is Chuck Reagan?
Chuck Reagan, of course, from Hot Water Music. Is that enough for you? There's been a few bands along the way. I'm sure you can rattle them off.
Do it. No, that's enough. I just,
Hot
want
Water
everyone
Music.
to
Is that
know who we're talking about here.
Okay.
Because names, right? We just said 5 minutes ago that
That's
it's fucking
true.
hard to remember names.
That's
and
true.
Who's where?
It is. And which bands they've played with when they've been in 100 bands. Not that Chuck Reagan has, but there's been more than Hot Water Music for sure.
So Hot Water Music likes to go fishing.
Sure.
Hey,
And
that should be the name of their next album. Hot Water Music Goes Fishing.
perhaps you should write that in.
I'll pitch it.
Anyway, if you're into documentaries, I am. I love watching documentaries. I'm kind of a nerd. But if you are, you should go check out the film. It's the award-winning film, and it's semi-punk related, although I don't think they really talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Next story. New York hardcore punks, Every Time I Die. Every Time I Die have announced that they will head out on a 20th anniversary tour. Another trend in the industry lately, and not just in the punk industry. I've seen a lot of bands outside of the scene kind of doing those reunion or anniversary tours. Joining the seasoned vets on this tour will be Turnstile and Angel Dust. Keith Buckley had this to say about the lineup for the tour. We knew that the last headlining tour of our 20th year needed to be memorable, and it had to be a lineup as broad-based as our 2 decades together. In each of these bands, you will find elements of the past, present, and future of hardcore, and I'm certain that there is something on this tour that everyone can vibe on, no matter your age or background. So that's pretty cool. I like that they're kind of thinking about it. Most people kind of don't put too much thought into who they're bringing with them on tour. I thought that was kind of cool.
That's awesome, yeah. 20th anniversary tours, Lagwagon's on theirs. Let's talk about Feelings 20th anniversary tour. I might hit that up at the Observatory on the 23rd.
Yeah.
I can't go to the LA show. It's on the 22nd. I got a wedding to go to. So 23rd Observatory, I might hit that up. Every Time I Die, I wonder when they're coming through here.
Well, I can tell you, oddly enough, I have that up. They're going to be at the Regent on November 24th.
I don't know if I've ever done the Regent.
Regent's pretty cool.
Okay.
They're actually playing 2 shows here in Denver at the Bluebird, which is walking distance. It's maybe like 3 blocks from my house. So
when is
maybe I'll
that?
try.
Is that when I come out?
No. This is early November. Mid-November, 16th and 17th. But yeah, check out. There's a whole bunch of tour dates over on DyingScene.com, so head over there and check those out, and get out and support touring musicians.
Yes.
Because they could definitely use the support.
Absolutely.
Bob, guess what story is next?
What story?
California-based label Wiretap Records has announced that they will be hosting a show to celebrate their upcoming 4th anniversary. The 2-day event will be held at the Slide Bar in Fullerton, California on September 29th and 30th.
Oh, damn, that's dope.
Yeah, if only somebody hadn't killed the headline, it would have been a lot more, more of a surprise for the listeners.
Sorry.
But since you didn't read the outline, and you ruined it for everybody, I'll continue on with this story. Bands performing will include, not limited to, I'm sure, Audio Karate, Odd Robot, Lost in Society out of New Jersey. Those guys spring-loaded. Get Married, Tiny Stills, Wolves and Wolves and Wolves and Wolves, and more. So if you're in the Southern California area, you definitely need to head out to that. Bob's going to be there, right, Bob?
Say hi to me. Find me. Say hi to me.
He's the ugly, hairy one, although not as hairy these days.
Not as hairy.
But yeah, our buddy Rob has been at it for 4 years now. So Bob's going to get an interview with Rob.
That's exciting. He's grown quite a bit in 4 years, man. That's a lot of bands to have and to hold on to and to cherish.
He's got a great stable of bands. Do they call him a stable?
Yeah, you did.
That might be offensive.
Hopefully he's down. I mean, if he's not down to do an interview there, I got to get it somewhere else. I really want to know how he did it, how he put it together. I want to know, what advice he has to bands out there that are trying to make it. I don't know. I've got a lot of good questions for him. I read his interview that we did with him over at Dying Scene,
Yep.
And you guys should go check that out. It's been up there for I think 3 or 4 months now. It's not too old. But it's
probably
got
a little more recently.
Yeah, but it's got a lot of cool information. But I think I could do an interview that's a little bit different than the one that was already done. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a little bit different when you're in person. But yeah, we could definitely get something arranged. I'm sure. Rob, if you're listening, hit us up. You got our email, dyingsceneradio@dyingscene.com, and make arrangements with Bob, because I think the commute would be a little too far for me, even for 2 days.
Yeah.
But I would definitely be there if I was still in the area. Little bit of bad news. Seems like this is something else we're doing almost every week now. Our scene has taken a couple hits lately, and this episode we have more bad news. If I Fail. If I Fail vocalist Colin Mulhern was in a really bad car accident on the I-5 in California. The band is actually from the Denver area, but he was on the road with a hardcore band, Short Fuse 59, and they were in an accident that was caused by a drunk driver, and he was ejected from the band, and he died, unfortunately. And there was another injury. They had to induce one of the other members of Short Fuse 59, Patrick Carney. They had to induce a coma, so he's still in critical condition.
Wow.
So, of course, we're thanking them. There's a GoFundMe account set up. You can find it pretty much anywhere online. So definitely get out there. I'm sure his family and his friends are hurting, and they could use any help that you could give. And don't drive drunk, assholes. I mean, there's lots of good options out there. If you need a ride, I've got Lyft codes. You could get a free ride if you're too drunk. Don't drive drunk. There's too many options out there. It's too stupid. Makes no sense.
Yeah.
Be careful.
That's a bummer. Yeah, I think we can throw that link up in our show notes too.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll throw that up. But on to happier news. Let's see. Authority Zero.
Look at the blueprints as they disappear. Get to the blank space to with all our fears.
Authority Zero has announced a new album. The Mesa, Arizona natives teased the album name a couple days ago. Persona Non Grata is the name, and they said it's going to be released on October 5th. That was in an interview with Brack Rock Backstage, which is a series that they do every year for the Brack Rock Fest. So you can check that out. They interview a couple people, but basically the takeaway was that out of nowhere, Authority Zero is releasing an album, and boss man Dave said he's going to email him and see if he wanted to release them on Dying Scene Records. So that would be cool.
Nice.
Didn't you say you were related to somebody in the band?
Dude,
somewhere? I used to be?
Yeah, my dad's friends, cousins, brothers, uncle. I don't know. Somehow we know them or related to them or some shit. I don't fucking know.
Huh. Well, keep an eye on the website, because Dave is fishing. He's going to try and get them signed to Dying Scene Records.
I'm going to show up to the show and be like, yo.
Hey, my brother's sons, cousins, nephews, uncle, friends, neighbor knows
We're related.
So we're related. Yeah. Speaking of new music, Off With Their Heads.
I never feel happy, I never feel safe. I can't let myself ever stay in one place. I look in the mirror and I see the face of a failure who'll never be safe.
Off With Their Heads announced that they were back in this studio. The band hasn't released an album since 2013's Home, but it looks like we're not going to have to wait too much longer to hear some new music. They said on Instagram, I think I just completed the first new Off With Their Heads song in 5 years.
All right.
So we got at least one song in the can, so to say. So that's pretty exciting. I like Off With Their Heads.
Yeah.
Ryan's writing is it speaks to me.
Yeah, awesome.
Very conversational. And they're playing a show here in Denver, maybe around the time that you're going to be here. It's like a one-off show, but it's 2 nights.
And that's
it's
what
called,
we're doing.
Like the Winter Wonderland show, something like that.
Oh.
But I just checked, and the tickets are sold out.
What the fuck?
But I just realized that Allout Helter was opening for them one show, and I'm sure they could get me in. So
What about me?
you could definitely stand outside. I'm sure they play loud enough that you could still hear them. You could look at the Instagram page after and see the pictures.
It's December. It's going to be cold.
I think it is. It might be like end of December, like 1st, 2nd of January, maybe that area. I'll have to check. I'll get back to you. I'm sure the listeners will let us know.
Too cold to stand outside, though. I don't want to stand outside.
I know. I don't even want to talk about the winters. I'm so scared.
Hey, I got an impromptu news I can throw in here.
Okay, let's hear it.
Daughters. Daughters, the noise rock grindcore band from Providence, Rhode Island, are releasing their first album since their 2009 release. Maybe it was 2009 or 2010, which was their self-titled Daughters. So they broke up in 2010, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, for me, out of nowhere, they dropped 2 new songs. And I heard them and got all excited because they were one of the only grindcore, noisecore bands that I was ever really into. Super badass band. So they changed quite a bit, and their album is called You Won't Get What You Want. And I think that's kind of like, hey, we fucking changed. I remember reading an article when they broke up that said, like, you know, we've done about all we could do in this band without every album sounding the same, so we're done. They did 3 albums, and that was it. And so this You Won't Get What You Want, I think, is just hey, we've kind of changed, so this probably isn't going to be what you like. But you know what? Still really great. I wouldn't say it's grindcore. In fact, it's the exact opposite. The drums have really slowed down, but it's just as spastic and noisy as it ever was before. So if you were ever into Daughters, or if you like grindcore or noisecore, check them out and check out their new songs that they got released. Their album will be released on October 26th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I saw a meme the other day on the Facebooks that it was kind of like in that same vein. It said, like it had a guy saying, I don't like their new album. It sounds too much like their old album. And then like underneath it, he said, I don't like their new album. It sounds too different from their last album. Like you can't win. You can't win.
Yeah,
so
you gotta make the Goldilocks album.
Of course. And I mean, and how do you do that? I think it's just make what you like, make what makes you happy, and
just
hopefully
don't go soft on us.
That's wise advice, Bob.
That's my only.
You should take your own advice. And finally, some news that was actually on the outline, not impromptu. My news of the week: Direct Hit.
Fuck you! Get popped!
Direct Hit.
All right.
Released a video for the first track off of their newest album, which I don't think there's still a release date for yet, but
bummer.
I'm really looking forward to that. The name of the track is Welcome to Heaven, and of course it's kind of an acid trip kind of video, so kind of like the one that we talked about a little bit earlier. But definitely check that out. I'm really fucking stoked on Direct Hit. I'm hoping that it comes out soon. I think they said it's fall, but I haven't seen enough to make it think it's going to be early fall. I think we got a couple months left. But fucking stoked for that. That's one that I've already got kind of penned in on my albums of the year. I shouldn't do that.
But I mean, you know it's going to be good. It's Direct Hit. Like, you know? Right. You can't really expect anything less of them. No.
And I saw some comments on YouTube, and people were saying, I liked their harder sound. And I'm like, dude, it's one song. They always have one song that's like a little bit slower.
Yeah.
It's not like, how do you know it's their new sound?
Yeah.
But make sure, if you guys are out in Riot Fest next week, I think this will air before then, make sure to check out Direct Hit. They're going to be playing a bunch of good bands at Riot Fest, but Direct Hit would be the creme de la creme for me.
Nice.
I'm waiting for them to come into Denver sometime. They would be fun to shoot.
Sometime they will.
With a new album, they're sure to. All right, more music. That's it for the news. There wasn't a ton of news this week, although I think we got our money's worth. But now it's time for another block of music. Let's kick things off with a new band. This is The Drowns with Eternal Debate. Featuring members of Success, the Shell Corporation, Madcap, and the Briggs, that was the Drowns with Eternal Debate from their brand spanking new debut album, View from the Bottom. There's another supergroup for you, Bob.
All right. That's going to be an exciting one.
You should start an LA-based supergroup.
The Bobs?
No, it would definitely have to be something cooler than that. But
all right.
You could probably find some people.
Okay.
We know enough people there. We could start a supergroup.
All
If you want to be in a supergroup that's not named the Bobs, email us at dyingsceneradio@dyingscene.com. Next up, from the Flaccid Penis of America, this is Friendly Fire with Push Slow. Jacksonville, Florida natives, Friendly Fire. That was Push Slow. They sent us a care package and actually made a point to ask specifically about Widow Bobby because they heard you bitching like a little fucking 3-year-old about how you don't get stuff. So they sent us 2 shirts, one for me and one for you.
These guys are sweethearts.
And so they are Bob's favorite new band.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys are the best. Thank you so much.
Look,
Florida is not a flaccid penis.
It is. It's the Flaccid Penis of America.
This is true.
And look, you can't just play their song twice in a row just because they sent a shirt. That's favoritism. Bob.
All right,
just
we'll
the
play
one time.
it again after the next song.
So that was another one that was sent in. Another stellar inbox find.
Awesome.
Keep emailing me stuff, guys. I'm getting overwhelmed. I can't respond to everybody, but keep sending stuff. And if I don't respond, I'm just an asshole. Hey, Bob, do you know what Quebecois means?
No, not at all.
That is somebody from Quebec, Canada, just like our next band, No Real Hero.
Okay.
This track is This Is Home from their newest EP. Hit it. From the new EP, The Forest, that was No Real Hero with This Is Home. We actually have the entire 6-track EP streaming over at the mothership. So I think the album actually comes out tomorrow, so it'll be out by the time this airs. But my favorite little window in the whole website is the featured streams section. There are exclusive premieres. You can listen to music for free.
Yeah,
brand new music.
Awesome.
And a lot of times you can hear it before the album's even released.
Commercial free.
There you go. And if you're planning on buying the album, by all means buy the album. But if you can't afford it right away, if you've got to wait till payday, head over to dyingscene.com. It's in the upper right-hand corner. Best fucking window on the whole page.
Nice.
In my opinion. I'm sure there's other shit on there that's worth it, but I love the featured stream section. Do it. Head over. Listen to the whole fucking album. Do it. It's fucking free.
Do it now.
Come on. Do it. Do it. Come on. Do it now.
I sound like a pusher. All right. Let's move it on. Manchester, UK's finest melodic hardcore is up next. This is the Fairdues with Cowabunga.
We can save the world. Just try to make a difference. We made a road to somewhere and now we're caught. He'll bring them death and they will love him for it. The only way they'll let us out. This is what dead. We hit them everybody. Good. Do on the way down. Foot. Don't waste too much time. This. What I call this still. We do not like to run from those who would be our allies. What we must say will not understand us. Strike hard and fade away. We are never far from the means of escape. This is why we trade. Split. Time protection hate. Burn. Solace in these streets. Burn. Still in the right place. The adrenaline takes over me. Running through my veins, in my cold blood. Fist clenched, shut on. Remaining isolated, well trained, unsworn. This is not false alarm. Crystal gazing eyes are gleaming. Smells like fort. My seven senses screaming. It always does. Life too short to think about things twice. Well, the consequences make us do it anyway. Soak it up, relieve the pressure as the smoke begins to clear. There's a bunch of sand that slowly drifts away. Make no mistake, there's no option for defeat. When it's not just your own mortality. It doesn't matter if your hopes and dreams are shattered. It's not existential or unchanged. We can't save the world. Just try to make a difference. We made a road to somewhere and now we're caught. He'll bring them death and they will love him for it. The only way they'll let us out. Exit ramp. Dead.
This was one of mine.
This is one that Bob sent in. That was the Fairdues with Cowabunga from their newest LP, Leopards. So
I did something.
I gave you false credit earlier.
But I did
take your
stuff.
credit now.
I did stuff.
Why you like that song? What caught you with that one?
It's just fucking catchy and hard. I like I like pop punk, but I don't like it to be whiny. I like my pop chords to have like hard vocals behind them, and that's what they got. So, yeah.
Well, good pick.
Yeah, I'm down with it.
Did a good job. All right. Next up, one of the better known bands on this month's playlist. This is Like Pacific with Had It Coming.
Useless, nervous, but tasteful. Whatever happened to graceful judgment, patience? How did I do you wrong? Tangle slowly when you're feeling guilty. Think about the boundaries that you push. Wandering, broken limbs, mortarises, and you make things so much worse for me. Only me. Don't damage the seas. Just cut all the ties that are choking me. Don't you listen to him? The best advice that I've been given, but I guess I didn't listen. And you'll always be useless, nervous, tasteful. Whatever happened to graceful judgment, patience? How did I do you wrong? Did you wish for a quick death? Was it worth it in the end? This is no longer your place. I'm glad to see you go to waste, but I'm starting to feel different. When it's your father that I hate, how does it taste to not relate? Don't damage the seas. Just cut all the ties that are choking me. Don't you listen to him? The best advice that I've been given, but I guess I didn't listen. And you will always be useless, nervous, tasteful. Whatever happened to graceful judgment, patience? How did I do you wrong? Patience is overdue for now. The way it's self-defeating, you can suffer from it too. So get the sentence, you deserve it, and you know it. Don't you listen to him? The best advice that I've been given, but I guess I didn't listen. And you will always be useless, nervous, but tasteful. Whatever happened to graceful judgment, patience? How did I do you? Don't you listen to him? The best advice that I've been given, but I guess I didn't listen. And you will always be useless, nervous, tasteful. Whatever happened to graceful judgment, patience? How did I do you wrong?
Alrighty, comrades. Today we're hanging out with melodic hardcore mavens. You like that word? Allout Helter here at their practice space in Denver, the Mile High City. What's
up, everybody?
Everybody, let's give us a good howdy.
Hey, what's up? Hi.
You made it sound like a lot more people than are actually here. Good job, guys.
Surrounded.
So you guys just celebrated your 10-year anniversary. I think you played 2 shows on 2 consecutive nights. I didn't make it to either because I'm a fucking slack ass. But I figured I'd make up for it by doing an interview.
Well, we appreciate
Get
it.
a little bit more exposure for you guys. How did that go, by the way, the shows?
Oh, the shows were fantastic. Great turnout both nights, and we had a lot of fun playing all the tunes. We busted out some really old songs. We got to play our new record front to back, which we hadn't done yet since it's been released. So, yeah, we had a great time.
Nice.
We always have a blast playing High Dive, and yeah, it was fun hanging out with a lot of friends and a lot of bands that we love to play with. So, all in all, pretty excellent.
Took me a few days to recover, so you know that's a good show.
Yeah, for sure.
It was that tough. Well, was it? Did it take you a few days after day 1 or day 2?
I didn't think I was going to make it to day 2, but I was there.
Good job. Way to pull through.
Professionals. We pulled it together.
It was more like old man body, though. Not that I had drank too much. It was just that, like, it was hard to get off the couch because my body hurt so bad.
I can definitely relate with that. And I didn't even introduce anybody, and I've made a cheat sheet. So we're here with Allout Helter, which consists of Fred, Ross,
hello,
Ryan,
hey,
Chad,
hi, and
Ryan again.
Yeah.
Not even bullshitting.
Also Ryan.
I said, I'm just going to call them all Ryan, hedge my bets. I'm bound to get it right a few times. So yeah, 10 years is an eternity for a punk band. Really, you don't see, many sticking around that long, or if they do, they're making money at it and probably
touring.
Yeah, touring a lot more. So what do you think kind of keeps you guys together? What's the magic for all the other bands that can't get their shit together?
Because this is what we want to do. We never tried to make money at it. We never really made any real effort to get out and tour. We just, we always have had this saying, Ryan and I, that we're just going to do this forever. Like, it doesn't matter. We're just going to always get together and play until we, our bodies fall apart completely.
Yeah. So, which is close, around the corner.
Yeah, you guys getting there?
We probably got at least another 10, 15 years in us, and then we'll see what happens. If like the Rolling Stones or the Eagles can keep going, like, I think we can too. Like, we've probably done at least maybe like a 16th of the drugs that those bands have. So you'd think that our longevity should be longer, and we'll see what happens.
Maybe that's their secret.
That is definitely the Keith Richards like pickling secret for sure. But I don't know.
It'll be like a 5-song set.
Yeah.
Like that's about as long as we'll be able to go.
Time to go back to the couch.
That's right.
All right. So, Ross, you actually joined a little bit later than the rest. You came out from the DC scene. So, if I'm understanding the story right, it was like a Craigslist ad? Is that right? Tell me about that.
Sure. Yeah, that's correct. Well, I've been living out here in Colorado since I was 18. I moved out here in like 2001 and been playing music for a while. And the band I was in at the time had split up, and I just sort of put a post out there that was like, hey, looking for people to play with, here's what I like, let's talk. And Fred replied and was like, I think I know who this is, because I didn't like put any personal info on there. I didn't want anybody to be biased and be like, oh, I didn't like his old band, but because you never know, something new is something new. Try to keep an open mind and work with new people. And we had actually played with Allout Helter a couple times before, my old band, and I really liked the tunes, so getting the opportunity to kind of join the band when they were looking for a dedicated singer was like, I jumped at that opportunity. And then I went over to Shook's place and jammed with them in the garage, and I think that first night I remember feeling pretty good about it, and like I was like, yeah, I can like hang out with these guys, and the tunes felt really organic, so I was just happy to be brought on board, and luckily it's worked out since then.
See, Craigslist isn't all just hookers and drug deals.
Well, not anymore, because the stupid government closed the personal section.
The good
and
parts
now the sex workers are getting even more marginalized than they were. But that's another topic.
That's another topic for another day.
Exactly. R.I.P. Craigslist.
Okay, so you guys, 10 years, I think you got, 5 studio albums now? The last one was The Notion of Control, released late last year. Was that number 5 for the studio albums?
Well, 2 full
5,
lengths.
Here you go.
2 full lengths and a 7-inch and a 6-song EP.
Well, the 7-inch was a split, so we had 1 song there. We released like a 2-song demo when I first joined the band, and you all had a 3-song demo when you first started. But yeah, the 2 full lengths and the Ruins EP are sort of our main studio recordings. And yeah, we put out the most recent one at the end of most recent full length at the end of last year.
Right near the end of last year, yeah. And that one had Nuno Pereira from Wilhelm Scream on it too. Man, those guys are fucking crazy.
Yeah,
Trevor helped produce the record. He's also in Wilhelm Scream.
Yeah, yes. Trevor's all over that record. He sang a lot. Backups and stuff. And
Actually plays a handful of the guitar parts in there.
I didn't know if you'd want me to I wasn't gonna say that.
No, he didn't. He played like one note. One note. It was all us.
You're sitting in that room. I mean, he's a really cool guy, and he's also, he's a good friend now, but he's also, one of those guys that like made me want to do this kind of in the way that I do it. And so, you know, when you're sitting in the studio and he's like, just give me the guitar, it's like, yeah, man, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, of course you can have it.
Right. And look, my next note was there's some sick guitar solos on there. So
No, that's all these guys.
I'm sure.
I'd like to point out that we're a band that prides ourselves on being able to reproduce what we write and record live. I think most people would consider us a live band, you know, as far as the people here in Colorado, where we are the most of the time. Obviously, the people who hang out with us through the magic of the internet don't get to see us play very often because we don't travel very much. But you know, we're not exactly a studio band. You know, we write here in the practice space, and if we're not already playing it, you know, it's probably not going to end up on the record. You know, so. Yeah, we
Makes
pride
sense.
ourselves on being a tight live band. Hopefully the record reflects that.
And I've seen you guys live, and it was really tight when you guys opened. We were talking about that before when you opened for Choking Victim right around 2 years ago. That was an awesome fucking show. And you guys, so you just released a new music video for, what song was it? Speed of Blight, from the newest album. Awesome fucking video. Did you guys do that yourself? Did you put, like, who went through and hunted up all the cartoon clips?
Yeah, that was me.
How tedious was that shit?
We got a little help. Everyone would send me some links from YouTube and stuff, so I had a little help. I wasn't gonna do it, I don't think, without the help. They were. I think Fred conceptualized it, right? Like you were like, old school cartoons. Like let's do some vintage stuff from when we grew up or whatever. And I was like, well, start sending me links right now because I'm not gonna be the guy hunting
Sure,
all this down.
I'll do it. And by I mean you guys send me some links.
Yeah. But it actually kind of worked out because there's not a lot out there, and I think that like actually told a story in a way. So.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
Really cool video. If you guys haven't seen that yet, check it out. It's all over YouTube. The Speed of Blight is the name of the song. And
song with Nuno on it too.
Is it?
It is.
Yeah.
So there you go. And it'll bring back some memories for you older gentlemen.
Are you saying his part's in the video Skeletor? Or?
Was it?
Was it? It's a monster, huh?
It's a monster,
Yeah. Do you know?
Dungeons and Dragons
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, there was a couple Dungeons and Dragons clips, and I forgot all about that show. I was like, oh shit, I love that show. And they got in the little roller coaster ride and got sucked into the world. Yeah, fucking A. So we've talked about it a little bit. You guys don't tour much. I guess you guys have toured a little bit,
We've
but
been out of town every
every once in a while we leave the metro.
Yeah, every once in a while we have opportunities to like go somewhere else, and when we're able to take advantage of them, we do. But we're not really a band that like hops in the van and plans tours every 3 months or anything like that. You know, we've never really had that luxury as well. But also, it's like, you know, I think you asked earlier, you know, how the band stays together. It's because we haven't put too much pressure on ourselves, and we've been able to work it in with our regular lives and the day jobs and everything pretty well, I think. So that helps us not put too much of a strain on the band's relationship. And but yeah, you know, if we had, you know, made the attempt years back to, you know, get in the van for 6 or 8 months out of the year, I don't know that this band would still be
broken up for sure.
Yeah, broke and probably broken.
It's a crazy what a van can do to people, isn't it? I like to think that I could make it out on the road, and that's what I was going to say. You know, would it be? I don't know if I'd be more bored, kind of just sticking around the same town, or if I would go more nuts on the road and hate everybody. So I just thought that was kind of a cool dichotomy, and I thought that maybe that was one of the reasons that you guys have had such a long tenure, because you're not at each other's throats in a fucking van 6 months out of the year doing stupid shit, playing dive bars in Topeka, Kansas.
We can really dive bars and do stupid shit right here.
Right, right,
Still go home and sleep.
right.
Well, we're really good at partying one night, and like not that great at doing any more than that. So Ross can attest to that.
That's true. That's true.
Just
These guys
the
get
one
partied
night.
out pretty quick, and even me these days, you know, it's not like, you know, I'm on the couch more than I am up at the bar more often than not these days anyway. So yeah, it's like, we like to have a good time, and then, you know, also it helps keep the tunes fresh. You know, since we're not out and about all the time, you know, it lets us sort of really sit with the music we write, and you know, really you know, play it and have people not get super tired of it, because we always try to make the shows really different and unique when we play in town. So you know, hopefully people, you know, seem to like coming out to see us over and over again, and we're not.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, obviously.
Imagine how tight it would be if we were playing every night though on the road though. It's already pretty tight.
Yeah.
We play a couple times a month, but if we were playing the same songs every night like these touring bands, it would be legit.
You'd be so much better than all the rest of them.
I mean, maybe.
But so one of my questions, and this is mainly just because I haven't been here that long, and who better to ask than a band that's been around for a decade and doesn't really leave too often. Talk about the evolution of the scene here in Denver. And Ross, you might be able to also weigh in a little bit on this because you have perspective from another scene. How have you seen it kind of grow over the past 10 years or so?
I don't know if Ross knows anything about that subject.
No?
No, that's not true. No, I guess. Here, give me that, Shook. This is why we don't give Shook a microphone. But anyways, I don't know. It's one of those things where I think it really has just gotten better and better. The all ages scene has become way more accessible and prolific, and there's like all these kids starting bands, and it just really helps keep breathing life to have new people coming in and starting bands and playing these shows. And the city is certainly changing. It's getting pretty packed around here and everything. But I think yeah, that's all right. It's all good. Tate's a transplant from Minnesota. When he joined the band 4 years ago, and I think even then in that time it's changed a bit. It's constantly morphing as the scene gets stronger, I think, because I think we have a really great set of local bands, of Denver bands, and sort of within all genres really, and then that just keeps having lots of great talent just keeps the scene moving, and luckily people tend to find an audience here, it seems like, which is cool.
And it might also have something to do with like there constantly being new injections of people coming in. You get a flood of people coming in, it keeps things fresh and kind of keeps the whole environment a little bit more lively.
Well, sure, you have new musicians, new fans, but overall it's just like I think more and more people have been playing music for a long time continually in Denver, and so that breeds a lot of talent. So sure, you have lots of new people, but there are lots of people here who have been playing music for a really long time in all sorts of different projects, and I think those are the people who are always going to be successful.
Yeah. And Ross, you can keep the microphone. Next question is kind of for you. I read the Westward article from, I think it was a couple weeks ago.
Sure.
And so just doing my research, I was reading through it, and
I appreciate
probably
that.
one of the cooler things, there's a lot of preaching in our preferred genre of music. There's a lot of bands that preach. You actually kind of put your money where your mouth is, so to say. You're out there on the streets, you're participating in protests and things like that, where a lot of other bands aren't. And I just thought that was really cool.
Well, thanks. That's fine. I like to think that songwriting helps start conversations. So, even if people are just doing socially conscious songwriting, that's equally important because it's still like bringing up, issues that are important to these people. I don't know. I suppose I would do both of these things one way or the other. So, I suppose, it became natural to sort of mix the two, but, it's not like anybody's, obligated to do anything, but, as long as people are, at the very least engaged on their own terms, then, I think that's most of what we need right now is people just paying attention.
Yeah. And that was gonna kind of lead into my next point. I said, you're observant and you're paying attention, about who's playing the venues here in town.
Oh, right. Sure.
It's, you're very vigilant, and there was a couple instances in the article about where you let venue owners kind of know, hey, these people here might not be the best people to let play at your venue.
Right.
So I thought that was cool. You kind of keep the scene honest a little bit, and there's plenty of scenes out there that there really isn't. Not a watchdog, but there needs to be some sort of oversight, I think.
Well, first off, there's definitely plenty of other people behind the scenes and things besides me who really do work to keep our scenes and communities safe. Unfortunately, punk and metal has always had this problem of, bigots and nationalists trying to use countercultures to recruit disenfranchised youth, and unfortunately, we're seeing a bit of a resurgence of that today. It fucking sucks, and it's bullshit I feel like I've been dealing with for like way too long.
Right.
And so it's more so, these types of people try to fly under the radar a bit, and that's like how they operate, so they can just like seem non-offensive to most people, but then to just slowly creep up. And so it's important for people who do booking, for people who run venues, for other bands, to like know who they're playing with. Maybe it wasn't as important years ago, and you could just accept every friend request on Facebook and not worry about it. But it's like, there's some legitimately gross people out there, and our scene is not immune to that. So it's important to not let the type of music we play, and like angry music and music amongst marginalized communities, much more so than us, that has always been in punk and metal, and trying to make sure that the super harmful people can't infiltrate the scenes to harm people.
Yeah, and it's kind of a fine line in our scene too, because there is a side of it that's that's out of tune.
Oh no, the axe.
That's out of tune now.
It's all right. It's sturdy.
There's a side of our scene that's like, anarchy, no rules, everybody say what they want. That's an integral part of the scene. But then there also has to be, I think, on the flip side of that coin, some self-policing, especially if you don't want other people fucking with your scene. You have to kind of self-police it a little bit and make it
the whole
palatable,
point. The whole point is to be offensive. This has been said by plenty of other people, but the point of punk rock being, quote, offensive has to do more with being offensive towards the establishment that creates these systems of patriarchy and white supremacy, and these capitalist systems that really lock us all in place, and being offensive to that, not just like being a dick to people, and like just I can do what I want because I'm drunk and this is punk rock. Like, I think all of us are pretty even keeled people, probably me less so than everybody else, but we're pretty laid back dudes. We lead pretty chill lives. Like, we like to come out and play this like really fast, aggressive music, but like we're not here for the just meathead bro culture, to just come run around and shove people. We're down to I was actually thinking about this the other day, earlier, like we're a circle pit band, like running around in a circle, goddammit, like in dance. I don't understand like the push mosh exactly to the kind of music that we play, and the just like I'm gonna stand here and shove whoever comes near me. Like, that's not fun. But I used to love running around in a circle.
There you go.
So I think Allout Helter is a circle pit band if we had to choose a side, and I think that explains a lot.
Yeah, so if you're listening, next time you go to an Allout Helter show, circle pit, motherfuckers.
Yeah,
I don't
damn
want
right.
Pushing shit.
Counterclockwise. Just run around a little.
Now they're starting
try to be like kind of nice to people while you like run around them.
We got some rules. I like it.
No rules, just right, Wait, is that already a thing? Did we copyright infringe? Shit.
I think we're gonna have to cut that because people really.
Or we're gonna get sponsored.
This show.
It's gonna be sweet. Who is that? Is that Outback? Oh, I can't even eat there.
I think it is.
I'm a vegetarian.
Bloomin'
I don't even think that. I think it's got like meat dust in it or whatever.
that's.
I can get like I can eat that sweet pumpernickel bread that they have. That's really that loaf that comes at the beginning. It's warm. It's really good.
It's like the upside down back in the kitchen, but it's just like meat particles floating.
Totally.
That's exactly what it's like.
That's fine dining right there.
All right, enough with the politics. Let's move on to something that really matters.
Yeah.
The quick fire portion of the question.
Oh yeah, lightning round.
Yeah, this is like I shit you not, this is the most important part of this whole interview. You will be graded at the end, and I am a very strict judge.
What?
So what I'm going to do here, I have 8 questions, so not everybody's going to get 2. I'm just going to go round robin here. Say your name before the question, because I'm never going to remember them all. I'm going to start here to my left with Ryan, the first Ryan. Just by order of which I was introduced. Not that you're any lesser of a Ryan. All right. So, if there was going to be a movie made about the band, who would play you in the movie?
Oh, Oh my God.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah.
I gave you guys warning that there was a rapid fire
Paul Rudd.
coming. I don't want to hear this.
Oh, dude, that is such
Paul
a...
Rudd with a beard? That'd be pretty
Yeah,
gnarly.
Paul Rudd with a beard. That's pretty solid.
Paul Rudd with a beard, specific.
Like he's like serious, but like fucking funny.
Yeah, that's you. That's you.
Is it
Totally you.
Is it the beard that makes him serious? Okay, what's the worst job you ever had?
Oh God.
So everybody knows.
Hi, I'm Chad. Worst job I ever had. Probably, I used to have a job where I'd drive around and replace car batteries at the dealerships.
All right.
It involved driving a rather large truck that I had no training on. And I drove into one smaller dealership on Broadway, and I almost took out all of their lights because there was like this wire hanging down, and I just kept driving through. Yeah. That was
All right, that sounds like a pretty awful job, driving a big truck around Denver with no training. You survived, though. Good job.
How ironic that you just recently had battery problems. I didn't know that you had that job. I figured you would have been able to fix it now.
No, that was the alternate.
Oh.
He doesn't still drive around with like.
Didn't drive around and replace
He
alternators.
doesn't
I
drive
guess.
around with like a bunch of batteries in the trunk, like ready to go.
I don't know. I figured you would have just like stayed stocked from back then and just been ready.
All right, Ryan, number 2.
Yeah.
If there were going to be a mascot for Allout Helter, what would the mascot be?
What would the mascot be for Allout Helter? A liger? A lion and a tiger? Napoleon Dynamite?
Okay.
No.
Honey badger.
A honey badger.
Give a fuck.
Honey badger and a liger. All right.
Yeah,
We'll take 2.
Battle. Battle on like a
This is very
an
intricate.
ash-rid
Yeah.
field.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
We
it's
used
fucking
to-
super beautiful.
All right.
We used to have this stuffed 7-headed cat pillow.
Like
That was really weird. It was supposed to be Septipus.
Okay.
Septipus would be our mascot, even though it was a really weird thing and is not around anymore. It lived in our practice space for a pretty long time. So if there was a mascot, that would probably be it.
Septipus. Okay. Is that the live mic there?
Oh, yeah. I was just getting the sounds of Fred's laugh.
So all that rustling in the background was crotch. Russ.
Yo.
What is some guilty pleasure music that you listen to? Give me the corniest thing you listen to.
I don't know that there should be there's not like guilty pleasure music. Music, if you enjoy it, it's just music you like. You know, I'm too old to like give a shit what other people think I'm listening to. But
Just answer the question.
So gotta qualify
I don't know.
first.
I mean, I guess a lot of like sort of like cheesy 80s rock or pop music, like most people. Shit, I don't know.
Cheesy 80s rock is an acceptable answer.
I really like. I had a good time at the Josh Groban concert that I worked a while back.
Okay.
I wasn't expecting to like that, and he was really funny. So there you go. I enjoyed Josh Groban. That's probably like the as guilty as it gets for me or something. But I didn't like pay for that. I was getting paid to be there, so I don't know if that counts.
Yeah, that
but I did enjoy the show. Or I don't know. I like a lot of shit. This is really hard.
Hoobastank.
Yeah, Hoobastank. I do actually kind of like that song. I'll tell you the cheesiest song that I genuinely like. The cheesiest song.
The rapid fire.
No, the cheesiest song is "Cumbersome" by 7 Mary 3. That's by far like the most probably objectively worst song that I do honestly like.
Okay.
All right, we'll pass it over to Fred.
For sure. Fred, what's the first punk show you ever went to?
The first punk show I went to was a band called Automatic 7. They were on one of the V labels, maybe Vagrant, and King Rat, and it was at the Bluebird Theater.
Okay.
I don't know, when I was a kid. That was my first, I don't know. I remember that one of our moms dropped me and 3 of my, dork buddies off downtown, and, it was pretty cool. We were little, we were young. Not little, I guess, but we were pretty young. We were in junior high.
You were 1 foot high. You were 1 foot tall.
I was 1 foot high. Oh,
We were this little.
it would make more sense if I was standing up, okay, Ryan?
Fred, this is radio.
waist level.
They can't see your hand gestures.
Oh, you guys can't see it.
Thank God.
Trying to create a visual for the people.
Okay, yeah.
No, it was my first punk show.
It was back when Fred was 1 foot tall.
War of the World shit.
It was cool. It was what you'd expect. There was all of 10 or 15 people there, and that's a good sized venue. I don't know if you've been there. But
I haven't.
it was like a matinee show. It was during the day.
I'm 2 blocks from there. I haven't been yet.
Bluebird's tight.
Oh, I wonder if Reno Divorce might have played that show too. Maybe I'm just.
But yeah, I think it's like 550 people, so
Yeah.
there's 15 in there.
And they were all 1 foot tall. All right, Ryan Lunigan. If you go to sing karaoke, what would be your go-to karaoke song?
I used to sing "Take on Me" by Aha.
Oh, I used to do that one too.
That song's awesome. It's like a really good challenge. I don't really want to do it right now. No, I don't do it anymore. Smoked a few too many cigarettes since then. So,
Okay,
yeah.
I won't harp on it, but I do want to hear it at some point. Next time you go for karaoke, hit me up. I'll meet you there. I want to hear Aha.
Sounds good.
It'll be offline. All right. Ultimate lineup for a show if it was just Denver-based bands.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Existing or former?
We'll go with either. It could be a comeback show.
Putting me on the spot. There's so many good bands in Denver.
Yeah. There's no lineup limit.
There's no limit.
We're gonna play with all of them. Infinite Festival.
A lot of bands.
Oh, let's see.
It's more or less just so I can discover bands. I'm lazy.
One, and they'll just start flooding out of you.
Yeah, False Colors was always a good one. They're no longer around, but the Bold Type, Allout Helter.
Yeah, that would be all right.
Those guys are pretty cool. Hope they show
all
up.
of our friends are playing. We want to play.
Potato Pirates.
Yeah, definitely Potato Pirates.
There you go.
Going old school, the Drop Scots.
Well, that would be quite the fantasy band at this point for sure. But that would be awesome.
Oh my God, there's so many.
Yeah, Chad named like a lot of the, like, I don't know, we've been in the scene for so long. We have so many friends that like used to play that don't necessarily play anymore, but we share this space with Muscle Beach. They're a rad current local band. We just played with Black Dots and Record Thieves, who are 2 current bands that we're good friends with.
Black Dots rip.
We're good friends with Cheap Perfume from the Springs. I really like this new band from Fort Collins called Plasma Canvas. They're super rad and on the up and up. Yeah, I mean, pretty much there's always good music in Denver, I think, so that's a tough call. Yeah, we're just going to play a music festival forever, and all the bands can come play, and it'll be
5
great.
days straight.
You could say like Pinhole Down and the Gamuts. That'd be fucking fun to play with those guys.
Pinhead Circus? Yeah, I was like, was Pinhole Down from here? No, Pinhead Circus, yeah.
Oh, I fucked it up.
That was, Scooter's a legend here in town. Getting to actually play with Pinhead again would be sweet. 2 bands ago, I really liked that band, Love Me Destroyer. Love Me Destroyer was fun. That record, I liked all those dudes.
Fuck yeah, see?
I was naming like old defunct bands, but
that's fine. It gives me something to look up.
There you go, Dr. Neptune.
Dr. Neptune.
We'll find that. Native Daughters is maybe coming back. That would be sweet. I don't know. There's tons of bands in town. We're playing a show with a cool up-and-coming band called Rotten Reputation at our next show. They're pretty rad. Denver's flourishing, that's for sure.
That question was really just built kind of like Ryan's I'll do the music video, send me all the stuff. I just asked the question so you guys would feed me all the cool bands.
Yeah.
So I don't have to wait, do research.
Input.
All right, Ryan, too. This is the last question and most important. I'm a California boy from Southern California most recently. I haven't been through a proper winter in probably about 25, 30 years.
Okay.
Am I going to die this winter?
You're not going to die. You'll be okay.
I'm really scared.
The snow, if it does snow, will be melted by the next day, so you'll be fine.
I think you're putting way too much faith in my ability.
Yeah. I don't know. The winters here are not really that bad. Nothing compared to like Michigan or Minnesota or anything like that. It's really not that
I grew
bad.
up in Minnesota.
Okay.
And that shit's winter. if you want to experience winter.
I don't.
Like, I am so spoiled living here now. Like, I don't even think this is winter at all.
Just get a good hoodie and beanie and some gloves. You'll be
I got
solid.
home for Christmas last year, and it was the straight temperature was 30 below.
Yeah.
That was without wind.
Fuck that.
Yeah, Denver
You
doesn't
just
quite
go
do that all the
outside,
time.
Your nice fluffy winter coat, it just turns crispy. It's just you can hear it crisp as you
If you
walk.
have a good hoodie for the whole year, the whole winter, you'll be fine.
I've got a decent hoodie. I might have to invest in some more. You guys have hoodies? I want an All-Out Helter hoodie.
We'll make some maybe this winter.
What do you mean it used to get bad here?
I mean,
Like
the,
how
win-
long
the
have you
winters.
been here?
I've been here my whole
Mesozoic
life.
era?
No, it's just.
So that was actually really, really warm
Yeah.
and wet.
The ice age really sucks.
I don't know my epoch.
No, it used to snow a lot more in Colorado. Now it's more mild with the winters. It seems. Thanks.
Remember the blizzard of '82?
You guys know.
I remember the blizzard of 2002 or 3. That one was brutal.
4 maybe.
Well, there was 2006. That one was over Christmas. Either way, don't wear flip flops all the time. Like you're wearing some flip flops right now. Don't wear flip flops in the winter.
flip-flops.
That's probably a tip. And
Trade in my car for a 4-wheel or all-wheel drive.
you need a Subaru Outback. That's a standard Colorado car,
of Colorado.
and you'll be ready.
Dress in layers, bro. You're good.
Yeah, layers.
Golden.
That's crucial.
Good.
Shorts though. Shorts are good.
Thank you very much for the tips. I feel a little bit more secure.
We were just kidding. You're dead.
Fuck!
Totally dead.
Surprised me.
You're so
Made
dead.
up all that shit on the spot.
Yeah, you guys are really all in unison. You've really practiced that. We'll see if I'm alive. I will definitely come out to some shows. I suggest everybody else here do the same. And if they ever get off their lazy asses and leave town, go see All Out Helter if they come through your city. Right?
Denver. I will just put it out there. Denver was just voted like one of the top 3 like spontaneous vacation travel places. So you can just as easily come here.
That's
It's
true.
awesome.
And
We're
there's
not,
cheap
we're not
flights.
Even the coolest thing about it. You can just that's one. You can come to a show or whatever.
Yeah.
You can
Frontier
make
has cheap flights
a
always
really
here.
nice
So
weekend out of Denver. So come on out.
maybe that'll be our second endorsement. We got Outback and
Tight.
Frontier.
We need both those things.
Subaru too.
Twist on
Septipus.
the tail thing.
Oh, on the animal on the tail,
Yeah.
7-headed cat.
There we go. That does it for me. I know you guys probably got to get to practice and
Jam
hone
time.
your craft. So I'm going to get out of your hair. Through the magic of post-production, we can play any song you guys want on the way out. What do you want us to play?
Well, we talked about it earlier. Why don't you throw on "Speed of Blight"?
Speed of Blight.
From the new music video, and that features Nuno Pereira on some vocals, and it shreds pretty hard.
You heard the man, Bob. Spin that shit.
This is Allout Helter.
And you're listening to Dying Scene Radio.
Oh, yeah.
Selfish is an accurate way to put it, 'cause where I put all my focus was in being better off. And I've noticed I've been way more exhausted trying to force self-improvement rather than being there for you. I've been eating healthy foods, doing good in school, and I hope that digs into you. Without you I'd be lost, yeah, you swore that was true. Say it all you want, but know that I don't miss you too. Feels like I haven't shaved my beard in like a year, but at least I was prepared, 'cause it's gotten colder here. And as you passed, you told me that I'd be just fine, and you were right, so go get on your flight. Despite the initial pain I felt, I'm so fucking thankful now. I needed you to fall for him so I could get pushed out, 'cause in the back of my head I was hoping we wouldn't last. So stop confessing to me that you settled for second best. Feels like I haven't shaved my beard in like a year, but at least I was prepared, 'cause it's gotten colder here. And as you passed, you told me that I'd be just fine, and you were right, so go get on your flight. I don't know if you'll ever find your way back, and I promise that I couldn't care less. I don't know, and I couldn't but at least I was prepared, 'cause it's gotten colder here.
Pop punk goodness from the south side of Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
I like how I just got done earlier saying that, like, I like my pop punk with hard vocals, and then this is
Right.
also one of my picks.
Yeah. No, it's good,
without the
though.
hard vocals. Hey man, it's I really like the songs, but I also like that the recording quality sounds very DIY, like they did it themselves or something. I don't know. There's something that draws me into that. It's not super produced, but it's fucking cool, catchy music.
Well, and the good thing about the podcast, in my opinion, is that we don't always we don't play just music that you and I like. Like, what fun is that? I mean, who cares what two assholes that they don't know like? So, there's plenty of stuff on here that just isn't in my regular rotation, but you got to respect it, and you got to like the band's putting, their effort into it and doing good stuff, even if it's not your flavor of music.
But even with that, I mean, a lot of it grows on you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been a lot of stuff that I haven't liked, necessarily when I listen to it and we put it on, I'm like, oh, this is going on the podcast. All right, whatever. But then after having to listen to it a few times, like, it really ends up growing on me, and it kind of takes me back to, when we used to have to buy CDs and you couldn't fucking skip through songs, or if you had to change the CD, you got to flip through your CD book, and
yeah,
you always listen to more than one song, and so albums would grow on you. And I don't know, it's kind of something special about the podcast for me, is it forces bands to grow on me, and I don't really give bands that chance anymore now that I'm in my fucking 30s. I don't have time for that shit, but this has given me the time for it.
See, I always try and make you appreciate music a little more.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
All right, next up, DC area punks American television. This is Death to Fire.
Gamble all your money at the black and red. Gamble everything on bated breath. Shaky hands, they bet it all. Another 1,000 in this hole. Haven't had a good run in several months. Man, you just say you're the lucky one. So you're gonna hedge your bets. 'Cause you ain't broke yet. Yeah!
I know I've been saying it a lot, Bob, but that's another one that was emailed in. Fucking fantastic song. And I guess they released a coffee. They roasted their own coffee in these days where bands are brewing their own beers. I think these guys roasted their own coffee because there was a message up that said they had 12 bags left after their release show. So
that's pretty awesome.
The coffee was just roasted this late past summer. So if you want some good coffee, the blend is called Death to Fire. Hit up American Television, and I'm sure they'll slide you a bag. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Awesome song, and I don't know how the coffee is, but coffee's good.
Send AP a bag of coffee.
Send me a bag of coffee. So, Allout Helter. Fucking great interview. I love those guys. It's always great to talk to like-minded individuals, and politically speaking, him and the whole band and I pretty much match up pretty well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hung out with those guys in the recording studio. You might have heard a little bit of music in the background from the other bands that were practicing in the other rooms. But yeah, it was a really cool little spot right around the corner here. I probably could have walked to that interview, but I'm pretty lazy. So yeah, sweet time with those guys. Really accommodating. Let me drink one of their beers. It was great.
And also, hopefully, they're going to get you into the Off With Their Heads show, right?
Oh yeah, yes. I'm buttering them up good. There's always a reason if I'm giving you guys a compliment. No, see, I didn't even realize that until after, and I've been meaning to buy tickets. I knew it was going to sell out quick, but fuck, man, there's just so much on my radar.
Yeah.
And I don't want to oversubscribe myself and pay money for a show I end up not going to.
Right.
Plus, it sucks when you pay money to go to a show and then have to work, like shooting the show the whole time. You don't really get to enjoy it as much. So I try and split the difference and go to some free shows and some paid shows, or get into the paid shows with a press pass if somebody wants to get me in.
That's how I felt on the few interviews that I've had to do, the very few interviews that I've had to do. I'm just like, God, I'm nervous. I got to go like fucking talk to these people who I like grown up listening to or idolize, and now I'm gonna say something fucking stupid or not ask the right question, or be like, so you released this album? They're like, yeah, that wasn't our album actually.
I always think I'm gonna turn into the guy, and I did a little bit in this interview because my notes fucked up, so I couldn't read it and I was stammering a little bit, but I always envision myself turning into the SNL character that was played by what's his name? I'm never gonna remember it now, but the guy that does the Van Down by the River guy. But he does this skit where he's interviewing Paul McCartney. He's like, remember that time that you released the album? And Paul McCartney would be like, yeah, I remember that. And he'd be like, yeah, that was totally cool. And I could see myself doing that and just making myself look totally fucking foolish. Chris Farley.
Yes,
it was.
Chris Farley. Yep.
Knew it would come to me eventually. But yeah, that's how I envision every interview of mine going. So if you're a band that's ever given me the time of day, I appreciate you dealing with my stupid ass bullshit.
I mean, all of us, you guys don't know how nervous we can get just asking a few questions. It's like, we're schoolgirls and we're talking to the little boy we're crushing on or something.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. We're weird. We just let everybody in on our little secret. A little too personal. All right, let's close this fucker out, Bob. I don't know what we're going to do next episode, but I have enough shows coming up. I'm bound to interview somebody.
All right, like I said, I'll try and hit up Rob. I know I say this is me every episode. I'll try and do this, and I don't fucking do anything. So what?
No, you don't.
You guys got to start holding me to it.
And I think next episode we're going to have a little bit of a Halloween theme because it should be released right around Halloween. I got a couple bands already slated. Keep that in mind when you're picking bands out too there, Bob. Have some horror punk bands. Do some research. Get creative with it. Let's celebrate. Let's be festive. I think people like festive.
Yeah, cool.
All right, let's close out with some fucking music from Boston, Massachusetts. This one is Art Thieves with Proxies. This is off their upcoming album, Russian Rats. It's going to be released in just about a week on State Line Records. So keep an ear out for that. Spin that shit, Bob. Until next time, guys, be safe.
See you next time.
Sitting senator and Joshua's on your neck in a tree, and I can take from your local bread. You made your bed and now they're rolling it, but you cannot lose if you do not pay. Diesel's a rerun, and California's screaming, get the Zeus off my neck. It must be nice to idealize that if you suffer them, then they're remember you. Put on your body wig and pantaloons, so I can trip you down some stairs and embarrass you. You make your bed and now they're rolling it, but you cannot lose if you do not pay. Diesel's a rerun, and California's screaming, get the Zeus off my neck. Get the Zeus off my neck. Hit the lights, lock the doors, and shut it down.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. God damn it, these delays.